This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas. Magazine publisher and entrepreneur Judith Mancini is sharing captivating conversations with experts in their field about the latest trends in our ever-changing world to help you become healthy, wealthy, and wise. Judith Mancini today will spark your interest and inspire you to lead your best life ever. And now, here's Judith.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. Did you know there are only 27 days before the holidays come? And you have to be the best you can possibly be, celebrating until New Year's Eve. Well, you should always try to be the best you can be. We're going to talk about that today and how you're going to do it and how you're going to arrive at a point where you're not totally exhausted. All right. So first of all, we have some breaking news. Today is Thursday, December 4th at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And they have announced in the last hour or so that they finally have the suspect of the person who was planting bombs in Washington, D.C., around the Capitol and the state houses and courthouses and all of that. Wow. They are showing camera shots of the home he's been living in lately. And I'm here to tell you where it's located and the looks of it. It's a very large, stately home. So my question is, let's find out if indeed this is his home, he owns it, or he doesn't own it, he lives with a family, or he doesn't, or somebody put him up in it as they put him up to placing the bombs. Wow, what a world we're living in, what our country is going through right now. And I'm going to say, I'm happy to have all of you watching Judith Mancini today, but I have to get this off my chest. I am disgusted, appalled, and saddened about the way that the Democratic Party has gone after President Trump. It started way back when he said he would run for president in 2016, et cetera, his first term, putting him in the courts, going through everything. You know what it is. I don't need to reiterate it all now, but it's horrible. And now we have direct evidence of some of these Democratic Party people who have been leaders in their party, and they're doing such unlawful things. It's disgusting, frightening, unheard of before. When you look back at it, and I don't care who you are, whether you're a Democrat or you're a Republican, there are no two ways about it. Biden's administration was full of crooks, people who didn't give a damn, pardon my language, about the safety of our country. All they cared about was putting illegal aliens in the country to vote. That's all they wanted. I feel sorry for Biden because I don't think he knew half of what was going on. I think his mental ability was gone a long time ago to gather information and decipher what the heck it meant. Now we have the governor of, what is it, Minnesota? No, it's, I can't think. At any rate, a big scandal with the Somalis that have come in, and half of them are illegal. Now, you can travel the world. You can go to Europe and you'll see the Somalis there also. I don't know any Somalis personally, but I have certainly been around a lot. They are known when you're traveling all over Europe and you go into places that are rather upscale, where restaurants are upscale and shopping is upscale. And you'll see these very tall men with these fake handbags tied on their shoulders and their back. And ma'am, buy this, buy this. This is real Chanel. This is real Chanel. Well, if you have a brain in your head, you know damn well, and here I am swearing again, that those are not real bags. They're knockoffs and they're hurting the Chanel brand. So you think, so what? Chanel is wealthy. Chanel is dead herself for many, many, many years. But what if it was you? What if you worked for some place like that and that was your livelihood? And now these crazy people are selling knockoffs and they're not coming into the store to buy the real thing. The Somalis, as a whole, in my opinion, and I very seldom will criticize people, kind of like I'm changing today, though, on the show, they're thieves. Watch the news. And when I'm saying the news, please tune into something that's giving you real news and not making it up, because that's happening more and more. And if you're online and you're looking at different things, you might be looking at Fox News, Newsmax. There's all sorts of new stations out there. Plus, there are political pundits that have their own little news sites. There are many, many out there that are giving false information, and only a few are giving you the truth. How do I know the truth? Start using your thinking cap and learn what's going on in your country. Now, of course, they're going after Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of War. And don't think that Trump was crazy naming it the Secretary of War instead of Defense, because in the beginning, it was the Secretary of War. People, you need to study a little bit of the history of the United States. You need to know what's going on, what kind of bills they're trying to pass, what kind of bills they're not trying to pass. Look, some things that Trump does, even though I'm a huge fan of his in business and in politics and governing, some of the things he does have driven me crazy. First of all, are we really going to get no tax on Social Security and tips and overtime and all of this? Are we really going to get it? Well, January 1st is coming up pretty fast, and then comes April 15th. And if you're a business person, you probably pay quarterly taxes. What's going on with you? I want to know. And what happened to the $2,000 checks from the tariffs? Well, as it turns out, we probably won't get any. Nobody will get them, or they'll put an income marker on it, that so much income you don't get a $2,000 check. Who knows? It's never been thought out. It sounds great. Who wouldn't like to get a $2,000 check? So everybody could be thrilled about what's going on. I personally think the country is in a lot better shape than it was when he first walked back into the Oval Office, where he should have been all along. But I also think there's lots of questions to ask. For instance, in my mind, in the economy, one of the best things to do would be to get people out of debt. And so many people are in debt because they've had to go and put things like groceries on their credit cards. And these people don't have high incomes. They've had to take out credit cards to get along through the Biden years, when groceries were going up and gas was going up. And Newsom never takes away the taxes from the gasoline here in California, when we're rich with oil in California. So we need to look at that. And I am watching it closely. there are people who are being charged 38 to 39%, some even over 40 now on their credit cards in interest. And these people will probably never get out of debt, or they'll have to declare bankruptcy. And then the home they live in that they've been judiciously trying to make payments on, but couldn't judiciously make payments on it because they're paying those credit cards with that high interest. Well, something has got to be done, and I don't know what it is, but I have some things to tell you that you might be shocked about. Let me tell you that the Social Security, when people get it, are usually about a total of, I'm sorry, I've lost my notes here. Just a minute. It's about $45,000 if it's combined of two people. And you need to go to Social Security yourself and look it up. Look up the graphs. If you're not on Social Security yet, it can tell you if you're making so much money, what you can expect to get in Social Security if your retirement comes up. What if you don't have any retirement? Well, hopefully you have retirement, or hopefully you have another job or something, because Social Security is like the poverty line. And the poverty line has been just going up and up and up, or down. It depends on how you want to look at it in this economy. So, oh my goodness. So, what I want you to do is, before the end of this year, I want you to set up a budget for yourself. I want you to write down all your credit cards, all your expenses, what the interest is on them. If you could possibly qualify for some kind of debt consolidation, or your bank will loan you the money at a very low interest rate so you can get straightened out from these 40 percenters, 39 percenters. Get rid of that and ask for help and find a job. Well, of course, I understand you're 65. You're 70. I'm 78. And I'm still working. And here I am. But I'm doing something that I love. Okay? There are things out there that you could do too. We live in the desert now of California. And I shop a lot at Trader Joe's because they have what I call clean food, most of it, produce that hasn't been sprayed, and cows that don't have hormones in them, and the same with the dairy products and the eggs and all of that. I like Trader Joe's, and my husband happens to like their Chardonnay. Great. So I shop there a lot, and I have noticed since I moved here, unlike living in Beverly Hills or Oak Park or Calabasas, where we were trying to downsize and check out different areas, unlike those places that have all young people working at Trader Joe's, probably in their 30s, some of them are younger than that. In the desert here, there are men and women working at Trader Joe's that are in their 60s and 70s, and they need to. And they've lived in the Coachella Valley for years, but they can't make it on their Social Security, even here. But this is one place in California that is unlike most other places in California, where transportation is less expensive, because our gas prices you can find for $4.09. Now, there are some places that have gas stations right by the freeways, and they're the ones that always try to sucker punch you. You're out of gas, you need to go get it, and they have it close to $6. So watch out where you're shopping, what you're doing. I particularly don't like Aldi or some of these big warehouse places because they put everything in big, huge cartons and people are groveling through them. Who knows where their hands have been before they went groveling through them? I don't know. I'm particular about my food. So I think those are some things. I think you could get a side hustle too, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Now, I hate to tell you this, but Medicare is going up. It's changing drastically after January 1st. And if there's one thing I don't understand in life, it's Medicare and their supplements and advantage plans. I never have. I don't get sick very much, where I need to go to a doctor at least. But my husband has poor circulation, so I am concerned about him, and I want him to be able to have his cardiologist, who's at the top of the list here in the desert and can be at both hospitals that are available to us. So it matters to me and it matters to him if we have this particular doctor. Well, I was looking up and I thought I'd go through USAA, our insurance carrier for car and house. And I thought, okay, they should be able to help me. Well, really? They suggested Humana for overall supplemental insurance, or maybe I'm using the wrong word, and you better use the right word. So I'm really bad. 20 different plans under Humana. Are you kidding me? I have things to do. This is really important to me, but I can't sit and read a 25 page report on 20 different plans for Humana. So here's my advice to you. Know what you want. Know if you want a copay or no copay. Know if you want to pay a premium every month or not. Did you know most Medicare plans actually take money out of your Social Security check once a month? I learned that this year. Okay, now, know what you need. As I say, know if you have a specialist that you want to continue going through, and make sure that they're in that parameter of the plan you choose. Then there's eyes, ears, nose, mouth. Everything else you need to be taking care of, it's on there. The easiest and best ways to get your supplemental or advantage plan that you need, because on Medicare, A is for hospitals and B is for doctors and everything else. Look at your medical card, your Medicare card, and that's what it will tell you. And you need those other plans to pick up the pieces. So look at that and go from there with a broker. Some of these places will tell you, go on the internet or ask a friend if they have an insurance broker for Medicare additional plans, and they'll help you. And there's no charge because they're paid by the insurance companies and maybe the government, for all I know. But that's how they make their money, not off of you and the time that you're using to talk to them and show you the plan. So give yourself a break and don't try to do it yourself. Get a broker. All right, so what I wanted to tell you, where I got the information from Susie Orman, who is a woman who has been talking about money for women for, as long as I can remember, over 30 years. Over 30 years, she's been giving classes to women on how to manage their money and do all that. So I want to tell you, she gave us a little lecture today on, right now, I have a plan B that takes out of my Social Security check $100 in 2026. That's next year, in not very many days. It will now be for that $202.90 per person, 9.7% increase from 2025. You need to listen because Part B is a significant expense you need to work for your financial planning retirement. It's adjusted every year to reflect the cost of the program. In the past decade, the standard monthly charge for Part B has increased by nearly 53%. Don't forget it's going to go up more than $300 a month for some persons up when you get to 2036. Okay, so the standard premium for 2026 for individuals with modified adjusted gross income below $109,000 or a spouse whose joint tax return reports modified adjusted gross income below $218,000. It's going to be the standard premium will be $202.90. And that, my friend, is something you will have to pay every month. If you have more income than that and you're on Social Security, it's going to be even higher, okay? Your regular adjusted gross income, that's line 11 of your federal 1040 tax returns. Look at that. Look at it from last year before you go in and do your taxes with your buddies. And don't tell me you do your own taxes to save money, because that is not a very smart thing to do, people. Especially now, because you're going to be showing more income even if you are a waiter or a waitress, because no tax on tips. And this, I don't know how they're going to do it on all these forms or what they're going to do, but you need some kind of counseling on your taxes this year in particular if you're not into doing that all the time. Me, I would never file my own taxes. I haven't filed my own taxes ever in my life, and I've been working since I was probably 16, 17. Okay? And maybe we didn't have to file them when we were teenagers. I don't know. But I do know I was married when I was 21, and I did have to file taxes with my ex-husband. Okay, so what happens if something drastic happens? And I'm only going to give you this one example. If you enroll in Medicare at age 65 and your current income is much lower than it was 2 years ago due to a life-changing event, you can appeal to have your Part B premium on Medicare reflect your current income. That is, you can ask that your premium be based on your current income, not the higher income from 2 years ago. You know, maybe you were working before you married your husband, or he married his wife, and maybe your income was higher, but then when you got married, you didn't need to work so many hours, or you didn't want to work for that company anymore. So think about these life-changing things. And I don't know why my computer rings, my phone's turned off and everything else, but that's the way it is on my brand new laptop Apple computer. Life-changing events include retirement, you no longer have high wages, divorce, or being widowed. That means a man or a woman, by the way. Being widowed can happen to a man or a woman, and that's the word they use, all right? And women make a lot of money now. So men, listen up. I know some of you are on there because you let me know. Thank you. So what I'm going to do is get off of this. You do need to think about your retirement if you haven't done so already. I want you to do it. I want you to put some money away. I want you to invest it. Whatever you can do to put away some money for your retirement, because it's not going to cut it if things keep going up. You know, the tariffs are helping the country a lot, particularly in the Midwest, where some manufacturing jobs were lost and all. So that is helping people, and they will see their income going up or become steady. But some places are laying off people no matter what, in factories and small businesses and things. And we hope that's going to stop and get straightened out. But that's the time when you're working, is to put some money aside and hopefully keep yourself on a strict budget while you're looking for work. Or how about starting your own business, whatever you're an expert at? Maybe you could do that. You know, you could, if you're a garage mechanic or something like that, perhaps you could just start it in your own garage and then hone your skills and train somebody else, and they could go pass the test and they could start working for you as you open your little business. I don't know. Think of different things that you can do. Now, there's all different kinds of rules that allow teenagers and children to go to work, and they have very strict rules and regulations about the hours they can work, the wages they can earn, and how the wages are handled. I know this because I have two grandchildren. One's 18 and one's 20 now. And when they were small, they were child models for big things like clothing companies and all. And they made lots of money, but it was protected, and their parents put it in the correct accounts and everything. I think the mother took 10%, which is what the rule is for managing their careers, which is a lot of work, believe me. So that's a fair thing. But those kids now are old enough to be filing their own taxes, and they need CPAs, financial advisors. They're not modeling anymore, but who knows? Who knows what life holds when you're that young, what you're going to end up doing, unless you have a real passion and you go to law school and become an attorney or a doctor, medical school, something like that. You might just go to work for a company that you absolutely love, like maybe you went to Google or Apple or someplace like that. I remember when one of my daughter's girlfriends at a Christmas party came in, and all of a sudden this is when they were like 20, I think it was, finished college, and they were all high achievers in this group of girlfriends and boyfriends. And there they were all clapping. I said, what's going on? Did she get engaged? No, she made her first $1 million from tech business. Of course. Look around LA, the beach area and all. We have lots of tech companies, especially up north. This was in the LA area, the beach area. That's pretty darn exciting. And she's just gone on to higher things. She's no longer in the tech business. She's in something else, and she does quite well. So raise your kids right to respect the money and to save, not just spend. Okay, that's it. I'm not going to talk anymore about insurance. Oh, so one of the other things that's going on to help the country get back settled is Michael Dell and his wife. You know Dell, techie? Yep. He is giving so much money to set up this fund to give children that are born between certain years and certain ages and certain home income, different areas where people live. They're going to be given, I think it's $1,000 to start saving their money so that they will have a college fund or something to start their own business, something that's comparable to education, trade school, something like that. This is a man and his wife who are being so generous with the good fortune that they have worked so hard for, and now they're sharing it with other people. And this is going to be such a boon to the United States. It's unbelievable, because once you start putting money, for want of another word, in some place where it's safe, like a bank, and you can see it grow, it gives you so much self-esteem and confidence to go on and do bigger and better things. Okay, so that's enough of that for today. That's my wealthy and wise segment today. I combined them. You need to be wise. You need to know what's going on right now. You need to know what they're doing to Pete Hegseth, because they can't go after Trump too much more because they've run out of stupid ideas to go after him. So they're going after Pete Hegseth, who is a warrior. He has protected our country, and now they're going after him. Well, guess what? He has the right to order anything, but he didn't. And we're not even sure that the general did. They were in closed-door sessions in a skiff because of the sensitivity of this problem with Venezuela going over there, and the cartels smuggling heroin laced with fentanyl in their little speedboats coming over here to murder our children with their drugs. That's what it is. It's murder. I have a couple dear friends who've lost their children to drugs like that. And you know what? One pill. Remember that one pill. It was just laced with it. Have you seen that commercial where there is a pencil and it's sharpened like this? And right here on the end of it is a speck of fentanyl. And that can kill more than one person, so many people. And there's no coming back. Even when you try to get the paramedics there, there's no time. There's no time. It's almost instantaneous, and it's painful. And you don't want anybody else going through this. So let's get rid of the cartels. And if the guys jumped out of the boat because it was shot at to sink, and they jumped out and were stupid enough to go back and try to do it again, I say kill them. Okay? No, my son did not die of drugs. I read the autopsy. Because you don't know. You don't know. So I read the autopsy. I think he died more of a broken heart for the way his life was going. But I'm not going to get into that. So here they are. I want you to say prayers for these people that are trying to help Trump. I mean, look what Tulsi Gabbard was robbed. She was put on a watch list for airplanes by the Biden administration. This is a good woman. She's doing a lot of good. Now we've got Jeannie, what's her name? You know, the judge. I'm getting my people mixed up today. Let's move on, because there are things you can do as side hustles. And there are more and more sites out there with people who are moving into their 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and even 100. You know who had a 100th birthday yesterday? Dick Van Dyke. And he's always out and about. He drives this, I don't know if he still is, but a couple of years ago, he was still driving his sports car around Calabasas and all. He has a lovely wife, and they are active all the time. They're out and about. They have lots of friends. And if it so strikes him, he'll stand up out of his chair and do a little jig. A remarkable man. Remarkable. So why are you thinking that you have nothing left in life? That's the worst thought you can put into your head. I have a friend who's asking me about longevity. And she just turned 80. And she's a beautiful woman, tall, stately, beautiful. But she's been by herself, with a companion-wise, no husband, no sisters or brothers, no parents now. She's been by herself, living as a single person for many, many, many years. But she is so wrapped up in longevity that she's into some of these infusions that you get. And she has to get them once a week or once every 2 weeks, some god-awful amount of time. And they're very expensive. And what they're putting in their bodies is supposed to be good stuff. I don't know if it is or not. I don't know the companies she uses for these infusions. But I do know it's expensive, and she can afford it, so she continues to do it. And quite frankly, I don't see any difference in her. She's still beautiful. I don't think it's from that. She doesn't go out in the sun. I think the sun does a lot of damage to you. I think it does you a lot of good to go out and get your morning sun very early and wake up your body and your thoughts in your head and your gratefulness and thankfulness for your life. But I think if you're going to be in the sun any long time, you definitely need an SPF on your skin to protect it from getting skin cancer or blotches like I have. Now, I'm just obviously much more fair than I ever thought I was, because I did use some suntan lotion when I was a teenager in high school, but apparently not enough. So now I've got to figure out how to get these things off. Well, I figured out part of it. I have told you about LifeWave, and I'm going to tell you about LifeWave again. And Juan is going to be kind and put my LifeWave information up on the Cryon so people can get to me. So, and also, Juan, please put up Judith Mancini at mac.com, also on the Cryon. So I have become a brand partner with LifeWave. And I'm just getting started because I'm so busy, but I've been using the patches. First, I studied the company for about 7 months, and then I joined so that I could buy the products and try them myself, because I'm certainly not going to recommend anything I haven't tried. And maybe I've told you the story, but you'll have to listen again. The first thing they sent me was X39. That's their premier patch that stimulates all your cells in your body, and it just gives you this wonderful sense of well-being. But it targets stem cells, and this is phototherapy. And these patches, let me just push this camera down. I wear an X39 the camera's looking funny at me. This X39 round patch right there. I don't care who sees it. That's just one of the places you can put it. It will work in different places. It brings the light waves into your body, warms up your stem cells, and then they emit these signals out and they go to wherever you're having a problem. For instance, I should have shown you my husband's head. He smashed his head open here, a very deep gash. I had to take him to the emergency room. I thought he was going to bleed out before I could get him there. The paramedics came and fortunately were able to stop the bleeding. I couldn't because I was trying to get him up off the ground, and I didn't have any clothes on. I just had panties and a little tiny camisole type thing on, and here are these big burly paramedics coming in. Of course, they're not going to be looking at me. I'm 78 years old, for goodness sakes, but thank God for them, because he was bleeding. Every time his heart beat, whoosh, a fountain was coming out. So this story I've told you before. It started repairing right away. I patched him up here, and the scar that was very, very deep is now starting to go away. There are testimonials on the site of LifeWave. If you go to lifewave.com, or you go to lifewave.com/Judith Mancini, you can pull it up and you can see the different things on it. You can see the different patches and what they do and all. Glutathione is something. Here's a whole thing on glutathione and all of this. I sometimes print off their information so that I can talk to you about it. X39 activates the body's production of the peptide called GHK/Cu. This is a copper peptide that influences the epigenetic response of 4160 genes, 4,160 genes, a third of human genome, to express themselves in a healthy way and youthful state, which in itself is a stunning benefit. It's an important reaction to the production of copper binding peptide, GHK-Cu. It balances the production of all amino acids necessary for healthy gut function. So I've been using glutathione for two reasons. I have a terrible gut, which I'm correcting. I know you know why, because I love to eat ice cream and chocolatey eclairs and things like that. So I'm using glutathione every night. Put it 2-finger width above my belly button, and I just sleep in it. Now, if you're having problems sleeping, you can get Silent Nights, which is a patch that helps you sleep. But let me tell you a little more about glutathione, because as I told you, my girlfriend is doing NADs. I don't quite understand NADs. I do understand LifeWave. And some of the things I've experienced since I've been using glutathione for about 5 days a week, taking a break, drinking lots of water. Let's stay hydrated when you're using these patches or anything else. You need to be hydrated. So glutathione is working also with X39. You don't have to use them together. I do. I use the X39 up here for 12 hours a day, take it off, and then I use the glutathione at night. But I could be using the glutathione at the same time I'm using X39. That's when you need to get into LifeWave and study what they're doing. And that's why I took a few months to do it. I wasn't in a hurry. So that's what I wanted. It helps promote it. Glutathione helps promote energy. It slows down the aging process. If you have, for some reason, my shoulders, I've been doing some weird things to my shoulders. I'm trying to purge my house of things we moved to the desert and I don't want. So I'm giving them away. I'm selling them. And certainly my daughter doesn't want them. And so I've been lifting things that probably I shouldn't have been lifting. So I put that on my glutathione list. And sure enough, the joint pain is gone. The muscles are stronger. I haven't looked at my liver. I haven't had any blood tests. I'm not happy with doctors down here, and I like doctors. They're there for emergencies and to tell you if you need to do something different to make your heart healthier or something like that. I don't like pills. Most pills are not good for you. That's all I'm going to say. It helps you, the glutathione, although you wouldn't know this because I keep misplacing my notes, it helps you with your mental focus and the quality of your sleep. And when I do use the glutathione at night, I still put it on my tummy, but you can put it in different spots as long as you put it on the right side of your body. For some reason, that helps the phototherapy work being on that side. It gets to the stem cells faster. And it helps you if you work out all the time. For instance, my friend I've been telling you about, she has a personal trainer who happens to be a chiropractor, but what impresses me is he's not a young gentleman. I'd say I don't know how old he is. He's ageless. He's participating in Pago Pago at the Ironman, and he's won the Ironman many times. And he goes around the country and the world, apparently, doing that. So all of those things are wonderful benefits for you. And I really would like you to take a look at that LifeWave site and shoot me an email at judithmancini@mac.com, or you can use a LifeWave one with the slash on it, LifeWave. I'll get to you at either time. These are good for men and women, and they're so unobtrusive. You don't have anything hanging off of you. I don't think if my camera is coming down again, Juan, don't get nervous. There it is. But if I had on, which I usually do on the show, it's covered up with my clothes. But I don't even care anymore. People ask me. So now that's an interesting thing that people ask me about, and they all get excited and they all want, where can I get them? Where can I get them? Well, this is a multi-level networking company, and sometimes these companies get bad rap. And at the beginning of last year, a few months into it, one company went out of business and it got a lot of bad publicity. It wasn't anything like this. So do beware. Look at what it is. Look at the founder, David Schmidt. He's a man of God, and he always likes to say, you have light in your body. Bring the light in. The light of Christianity helps you too. Light of God. But look it up. See David. He is a scientist. He's young, at least he looks young. He's very active in the company as being a scientist. He is continuously bringing out new products. One of them is a water machine, cellularized for morning, and there's one for evening. That's the powder that comes in a big jar, and you can take it, mix it up in your water or anything else. And he's come out with a machine that will be being released next year. Oh, well, that is 2006. That's coming up shortly. I think it will be released at the company convention conference. So he started his career in science, and he started working for the Navy SEALs, the United States Navy SEALs. And what they asked him to develop was something that they could use when they were diving, because they were running out of energy, not breathing. They could breathe through their tanks and whatever they have. They were just getting slow, tired, because they were doing a lot. And the pressure of the water and all obviously makes you tired because you're constantly swimming with it or against it or what have you. So he did develop the X39 patch. And it worked so well for them that they were just thrilled. Okay, and this shows you that the patch is waterproof, and it has a small amount of adhesive around this gauzy type centerpiece that has some crystals in it, little tiny nano crystals. It has no medicine in it at all, nothing medicinal, and it's non-transdermal. Nothing is dripping into your skin or through your skin like that. It's light therapy stimulating the stem cells. So that will make you healthier, feel great, reverse aging. You should see some of the testimonials. It's amazing. And people have actually started aging backwards. So look up those two things, see what you think about it. They also have a business opportunity on it. You can join as a preferred customer or become a brand representative like me. Now we are getting closer and closer to Christmas. So what I want you to remember now, and I'll see you next week, but in between, don't forget to be grateful and thankful for everything you do, and try not to spend money on crazy things for Christmas. Give of yourself instead. Thank you for joining me. And remember, cherish yesterday, dream tomorrow, and live today. Thank you.